Well, the SADC mediation process began essentially in April 2007 after there had been a lot of violence in Zimbabwe in March 2007, and it really triggered, the mediation process triggered, the rapprochement between ZANU-PF and the MDC, the opposition party. And negotiations went on for almost a year until about November, December last year. There were many deadlines which were not met. There were many things that were agreed, including a constitution, but there was no signed agreement between the two parties. South Africa did its best to mediate, but at the end of the day, Robert Mugabe, the president of Zimbabwe, walked away from the whole agreement. But the rapprochement had been made, the public in Zimbabwe had been conscientized, and the various demands for the resolution of the crisis in Zimbabwe had been, in fact, identified and discussed, and a lot had been agreed but not, finalized.
The University of Zimbabwe pre-election was said to be the mastermind of putting up a system, a model that will assure the ruling party yet another victory. To what extent are intellectuals in Zimbabwe involved in what is happening in the country?
Intellectuals are just as involved. Some have been standing for these very elections, and some of my colleagues have actually won and others have lost seats in this election. And there was a published survey by the Department of Political Science, or so it was alleged. My own knowledge is that there was no such survey, but this was a prelude to motivating the public to say Robert Mugabe was going to win this election. So intellectuals can be a political resource which can be used by political parties and political players for their own ends. And it is really up to astute political astute intellectuals to refuse to be used, in fact abused in that regard. But intellectuals, academics are Zimbabweans. They are not going to be entirely neutral. There is no such thing as a neutral academic.
Absolutely.
They are Zimbabweans, and they will be on one side or the other of the spectrum.
According to your calculations, who is taking the presidential trophy home?
I think Morgan Tsvangirai is in the lead at the moment, in accordance with whatever results have leaked out. And Robert Mugabe is trailing, but I think we are heading for a runoff, because even though Morgan Tsvangirai is ahead, his percentage is below 50. In fact, I think it is around 48%, while Robert Mugabe is as low as 42%. So we might be heading for a runoff in the next 3 weeks.
Interesting calculation. Morgan Tsvangirai came out yesterday in a presser saying that he was confident that they had achieved more than the constitutional requirement. And yet you're talking about 48%. That's
right. He was saying that on the basis of their own, collected results. The percentage I'm giving you now is on the basis of the counting of the constituency results, except for 14. If the 14 are counted probably today, it is possible that Morgan Tsvangirai will in fact hit the 50 plus 1.
Professor John Makumbe, thank you very much for making the time to come through and talk to us. Let's take a break for now.